Hello, this is Troy with the Noble Grafted In Middle Position, and we want to pick up with this swing and miss idea. One of the reasons there's a swing and miss is because people have not seen that the Apostle Paul was inserted right here as he goes to the Gentiles because of Israel's disobedience. God goes to the Gentiles to make Israel jealous because they went after other gods. So Israel's God goes after other people. That's why Paul's telling the Gentiles not to be proud. As we move forward here, though, there's an interesting transition. This is against Israel. I will send the teeth of beasts against them, with the venom of things that crawl in the dust. Outdoors the sword shall bereave, and indoors terror. For young man and woman alike, nursing child with the man of gray hairs. I would have said, I will cut them to pieces. So this is their God speaking about his people that the dispensationalists put on the top shelf. God is saying, I will cut them to pieces. I will wipe them from human memory. Had I not feared provocation by the enemy. Well, that's interesting. So because the Gentiles would have taken credit for destroying and cutting Israel into pieces, God doesn't do it. He doesn't want them to take credit for something that he wants to do and would do if it wasn't for Israel's enemies. So Israel's enemies want Israel wiped out, and God's saying, I'm not going to wipe them out specifically for that reason, lest their adversaries should misunderstand, lest their enemies, Israel's enemies, their enemies, should say, our hand is triumphant. We cut them to pieces. We destroyed them. We took them out. It was not the Lord who did all this. So even if the Lord was to cut Israel to pieces, they would take credit for it. They would literally say it wasn't the Lord who did this. And this is very interesting because he goes on to say they are a nation void of counsel. There is no understanding in them. Who's them? Israel's enemies. Or they would discern their latter end. This becomes very interesting in the narrative we find in the Hebrew prophets right here. They would discern their latter end.